What's up, guys? Nethervvoid here with more War Thunder for you. Flying the Corsair F4U or 4U or something like that. I just saw it on the screen and I was trying to think of something else. I was actually thinking of something else. So, coming down for a combat cap here. Now this plane is pretty much, I almost have no unlocks on this plane. I have gotten a few just from flying it. This is not very many games out for me. And haven't really flown my American planes a lot since I've been back. And I think a lot of that is because compared to the Brits and the Russians, they don't feel very maneuverable. Again, this is an arcade. And their firepower, other than the 37 mils, seems rather lacking. The 650 cals are not weak, but it's basically they're more. You have to get all the guns on the enemy for it to really show its power, and that's not really easy to do, in my opinion. You can do it if you're a good player. You know, obviously, but you could say the same thing for other planes, like the 39, the ones with 37mm. Whoa, almost got bombed out by my own teammate there. Like, the 37mm guns, people are really trying to hit with the 37mm, right? I mean, that's going to rip the other plane in half. So you're going to hit with that. But what people don't, well, I never really think about is at least one of those planes, I think both of them actually, correct me if that's wrong, have like 450 cals on the wings. So it's 250 cal shy of this plane and the P-40 and the Mustang and a couple other American planes that have 650 cals. Which, again, they're good, but you have to get all those bullets, you know, landing on the enemy for it to really hurt them bad. And if you're shooting anyway, this is my feeling, if you're shooting a bomber from behind with 50 cals, it doesn't feel very strong. In fact, if you watch this game, and one of the reasons I showed you this game, is I seemingly get a lot of lucky shots on cockpits and really showing you how I like to use the 50 cals. I kind of drop in from the top. They're not as effective from the back. They did get that kill. A lot of that probably is just because I hit them just right, and that's kind of a low rank plane, so kind of obvious that, you know, I'm going to do pretty well against that guy. But if you're going, you know, you're behind a Beaufighter, a Dornier 217, or any bomber, it becomes very difficult to take guys out with the 50 cals. And that, again, for this plane specifically, could be because I don't have the more, you know, the armor-piercing rounds unlocked. I have not used armor-piercing rounds in 650 cal planes, which I really should try that. Maybe I should do that with the P-40. But I'm really kind of not impressed. Now, the Germans of late, with the 3x20mm planes, the F4 and the F4 Trope, those things are ridiculous, and I can get behind a Beaufighter and tear him a new one. Yeah, I can't do it in like 2 shots or something, but I don't feel like it's a waste of time to be behind a Beaufighter or something. There you go. There's a nice, easy cockpit shot right there on that Yak 1B who's turning. So that's what I really suggest doing with these kind of planes, is don't go head-to-head. Don't shoot from... You don't want to be head-to-head, and you don't want to be shooting from behind, typically. The fighters go down fairly easily from behind, but you really want to hit a plane at a perpendicular when you're flying this thing, because that's when you're going to take the pilot out. There's a lot of lead flying out, so it's pretty easy to take the pilot out with that many, you know, shots going into the canopy. So here's a SBD-3 coming down on the cockpit. Boom! I took out his engine. So didn't have to go through a lot of armor. Took out his engine. You know, so if you can do stuff like that, it's a pretty good plane. Here we go. There you go again. Killed the pilot. So, pretty awesome little streak right there. A 4x streak with these 50 cals. Now, they're not bad. The funny thing is, the Corsair puts out the same amount of lead per second as the P-40, which the P-40 I think is a rank 4, and this is a rank 7. So, that kind of... I kind of like that, because it also goes with what I was talking about, how, you know, the P-40 and the Corsair, at least in arcade, can fight each other. Even though the Corsair is a rank 7 and the P-40 is a rank 4, they have similar you know, or weaponry so that they could fight each other, and it's not like the P-40 is at a huge disadvantage. At the same time, not getting an armament upgrade on this on this plane is a little disappointing, because it is a rank 7, you know, which is 3 ranks higher, almost double the rank. So here I'm behind an A-20. His gunner is taking me out, so I get off him. My wing's out. Couple things I also noticed about this plane. Now, again, it's not fully unlocked, so there's a lot of unlocks to go, you know, with engine upgrades and aerodynamic upgrades and stuff like that, is I don't feel like it's a very good... It has really poor aerodynamics. The flight model is poor on this thing, in my opinion. It barely Immelmans right now. If I'm going like 3-something and I try to do Immelman, I'm almost stalling out by the time I'm actually through with it. And you'll see that, I think, in this video, in this game or the next. And that's pretty sad. And when a plane can't Immelman an arcade when it's starting off at 300 or 350, that's generally bad. The cruising speed for this plane, you know, here we go, we're at 326 right now. So that's when you want to get the guy. Keep it on the thing when he's turning like that. So also, yeah, so it's got fairly poor mobility or maneuverability. And that's a lot like the P-40, again, before the unlocks. The P-40's good now that I've done a lot of unlocks and stuff. So I'm hoping the Corsair's the same way. Now, I'm not talking about historic battles. In historic battles, it's pretty kick-ass. People have said it's pretty awesome. I don't know if any patches lately have nerfed it or anything, but people used to say the Corsair was ridiculous. So right here, I'm trying to come in and land, but I was worried about getting bombed, because I hate when people bomb me on the runway. So I'm coming in thinking maybe I can slow down in time. 200, probably not. Let's try it again. So, and this thing is also very, very fragile. Again, I don't have any of the fuselage upgrades or anything, so maybe that will help somewhat with some seemingly super fragile nature of this plane. But hopefully it just gets better, because I don't know. So P-40, I generally like that plane better. Again, it's a little hard to say because I have that thing pretty much fully unlocked. I have a couple more things to unlock with it, but it's not fully unlocked. Now there's 4 guys on that guy. You'd think they would have killed him by now. He's shooting at me. Almost got another kill. Okay, he goes down for the count. So let's retry this landing thing, because I'm pretty much no good with a wing out like that. The turn fighting capability of this thing, pretty decent. It turns fairly quickly. Again, my problem right now is it bleeds. It creates so much drag when I turn that it just stops the plane in midair. It seems like even landings are. It's good that they're so simple because it has so much drag that your plane stops. Like, look, my plane is stopping pretty quick, and I'm not even doing anything. It's a lot easier to land than other planes, but at the same time, I want that speed and maneuverability in the air. So I don't know. Again, not very impressed so far. It's definitely kind of a finesse plane in the fact that you have to shoot planes in certain ways. Now I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting bombed right here. This guy's going to try to bomb me. There goes a couple of little bombs. I'm going to get off this runway. It's hot again. People are just basically dying and then grabbing a plane and diving straight for our runway to bomb it. I don't know. Cool. So again, let's try to land. But anyway, the main thing I wanted to show you with this video was the 4 kills there on the cockpit. So this guy, he's coming at me. He's trying to get a kill before he dies, I think. Kind of a weird thing, too, where you're trying to get a kill before you die. I don't understand that. Let's dive in there, try to bomb on the runway, and then, oh, unlucky ram with a teammate right there. And neither of us tried to. Just, I didn't see him until the last second. I had a wing out. I couldn't really do much. Let's hop in. I think I grabbed the Kitty Hawk in this one. Yep. Let's get the Kitty Hawk and show you what I'm talking about. So this thing has some bombs on it, and even with bombs, it's more maneuverable than the Corsair stock. So I'm gonna drop those, I believe, because this is a airfield capture style game. Drop them, come on, buddy. I think it's got two 250s and a 500. I carry those mainly like if we need to crack like a light pillbox toward the end of the game or something like that. But generally, I just like fighting. I just like flying fighters. I'm not really that into bombers. So this thing has really good roll rate. It's got a little. I think for turning, it's probably about the same, but it holds its speed better than the Corsair. Overall, so far, I like this plane a lot better. It's just way more maneuverable and stuff. Again, I'm using ailerons to turn, though. If you don't do that, forget it. I mean, even with ailerons to turn, the Corsair can be difficult. But without using mouse keys to turn your plane like this, just forget. Forget even doing it. So there's almost another ram as multiple people go for the same guy. Generally, I don't like doing that. Usually, we'll try to get the kill if people are flying back just to kill planes. And generally, in a sense, the reason I'm doing it is to advance the game for our team. One less plane on the enemy team means we're closer to victory. I don't do it just to be a jerk. I mean, if I have shots on the guy, I take it. That's just how I play. Because if someone has shots on the guy I'm tailing, they're going to take it. So, and I'm fine with that. I don't generally get upset. It just is what it is. So now the battle is moving away from our base on A toward theirs, which is nice. That means we're, you know, the momentum is swinging here. Problem is there was a big old red enemy furball right here. So I'm looking for targets. That Spitfire looks alright, but here's the problem. There are only 2 of us down there, and there's like 6 red guys, at least. With a couple more over there, but the other couple are pretty engaged. And that BF-109 is kind of hanging out. I really don't want to drop down in there with him up there. So I'm kind of waiting for a couple of friendlies to get in there, and we can all go in together.
The enemy has captured a zone.
Now they're swarming the hell out of that one side over there. So looks like we were trying to cap B, and then they took it back, basically. So here, still picking a target. This is why I don't get really high kill games. I'm very methodical about my choice of target, which is also why I don't die very much. So dropping in on this guy, I wanted to take him out because sometimes these guys can be really difficult to take out, and dropping in on the top is a great way to kill them. I'm having some problems with my video right here. It's probably because I just played War Thunder and recorded some games. But I'm just going to let this one run out, but I'll probably have to restart my machine after this one. I got one more game to show you after this. It's nice to see the P-40 as well, just because I've been talking about it. They're similar planes and definitely similar armament. You can just lay on the guns like that, as you just saw, which is nice. The problem is the killing power of these planes. It's not bad, but it's not very good. It's just so noticeable when you fly either Air Cobra or you fly the F4s with the extra 20 mils, the G2 obviously with the extra 20 mils, or Russian planes. Their cannons are ridiculous. Anything with cannons, it's very noticeable. I kind of feel like they should give a little bit more punch to the 50 cals, and I think that's been something that people have been saying since the dawn of time with this game, is that the 50 cals don't feel powerful enough. So that's the end of this game. We're going to get another one here as soon as I restart my machine so that my FPS can go back to stable. I don't know why it's such a hard time. So 1 death, 4 kills, all with the Corsair, pretty much at the beginning of the game there. Pretty okay game. Let me show you another one where it's a little more interesting. Hold on a sec. So here's another game starting out with the Corsair. While I play my American planes and the Corsair is relatively unlocked for me, I will be playing this pretty much when I fly out every time. Some of that is to show you the Corsair, because I never have. I'll probably be doing this with every new plane I get. But also to unlock a lot of the unlocks on it to see if it performs the same as when I first got it. How much does it get upgraded? Some planes you can't notice a lot of difference, and some are like night and day. And I'm kind of hoping the Corsair is that way, because it's not doing what it's not as good as I wish it would be right now. So also I was pressing L here trying to get smoke, and my smoke must have been clear because I couldn't get any. That could be because it's a different button for me, or maybe it's I don't know. Maybe I need to turn something on in the settings or something. I remember when smoke first came out, you had to turn something on in the settings, and since I don't have an old version of War Thunder, but I started playing so long ago that it might be only with newer clients that's activated by default or something like that. So anyway, not really helping right here. Again, I think I've unlocked one thing now in this game. I just had this game. It's actually the one I just got out of. I think I've unlocked fuselage repair, and then the one other one. I can't remember what the next one is, but I unlocked that as well. The radiator, I think it was, giving me a little extra engine horsepower. Still felt like the engine was kind of laggy, and it's probably not the engine more. Well, it's a little bit of the engine, but also the flight model of this thing. It just feels very draggy. You're going to see a little bit more of that in this game, how it just drags and drags like it's got a super fat ass or something. It's funny how a bow fighter can turn better than this thing. I don't understand that, but whatever. I mean, the bow fighter turns pretty quick. One of them turned on me in this game like it was no big deal, you know. And that's part of the you know, British way of doing things. They're mainly a turn fight plane, pretty much. They do have some awesome guns, though, and that's one thing I really, really like about them, is they have such awesome guns, and they turn rather well. But Americans, I don't know. Other than the Air Cobras, I don't really like any of the planes. I mean, I like flying the P-40. I just feel like the guns aren't big enough. They need more planes with cannons if these lower caliber bullets are going to be so undervalued as far as damage. And I know a lot of people, I mean, there's people that put countless threads on the forums about how, you know, the 50 cals are not hitting hard enough, and the Americans knew you didn't need more than 650 cals in the air to rip a plane apart, because you only had to put a hole in the wing, a couple holes, and like most of the time it starts ripping apart. I don't know. There's a reason they had 650 cals on most of their planes like that. So I don't know. But that is pretty much fallen on deaf ears. I don't know why. I'm not going to even... You guys comment as to why you think that is. I really think they should have buffed them. Maybe they should buff them more. Again, my opinion could change once I get like the stealth ammo, where I'm getting like explosive and armor piercing, incendiary, whatever. It could change quite a lot, actually. But for now, there is no change. So there we go. He's dead. 36G was already pretty hurt, so I don't feel like I really helped a lot. Coming up on a bow fighter with its tail out, so he's dead. He nailed me a little bit with his gun still. Thought someone might be on my ass, but I don't think so. So this is kind of a weird map. I've flown on it quite a lot, but it's very spread out. This one definitely has lanes. Unlike other maps, there are definitely areas you fight in pretty much, just because there's so much mountainy area and the map feels so large. I'm trying to help this guy here, dropping on the Hurricane. He's asking for help even, and I think I get a good drop on him right there, and I get a kill assist. So it was myself, and some other guy trying to help that guy out, and it worked. He's dead. Kind of too bad I didn't get the kill, but that's fine. Now right here, I'm diving so I can attempt an Immelman without bleeding so much speed I almost stall. So I'm going 500. Now this thing does pick up great speed in a dive, but with the guns it has, it's not like it's knocking anybody out too quickly. Yeah, if you can get shots on the pilot, great. But I don't know. It's boom and zoom. I don't know. I don't know if it's a great boom and zoomer. It doesn't feel like that's what it's supposed to be anyway. So right here, just kind of covering base, ganging up on people like I usually do. I don't like to fly solo into a group, or I'll do solo 1v1 with another guy. I just don't like to fly into like 2 or 3 enemies by myself, or 3 enemies fighting one guy. I'm not going to try to save him, because as soon as he dies, and it's usually on the way there for me, you know, he dies, and then there's 3 enemies against me, and they're all coming directly at me. So that's generally why I'll see a guy with 3 guys on him, and I won't even attempt to get in there and save him, because I know it's probably going to mean my death as well. Now, if they're all lined up, spread out pretty good, I'll sometimes drop on the last guy and try to kill him, and then if it's looking bad, get out of there. But at least I killed one of the guys in that chain. But sometimes, if you can kill that last guy, because they're all on a string, and there's probably the guy, your friend's going to last long enough for you at least to kill the guy in the back. If you kill him, sometimes you can get the friend can get off him, and then now it's a 2v2 game. So that can help. But in general, I don't drop on 3-to-1 odds, you know. So see how it's kind of hard to keep this thing straight. Now, I am using ailerons and stuff, and I think this is probably because I don't have the unlocks. The E1, that's a new BF-109 with only machine guns, and it's horribly underpowered. It's just bad. It does have extreme mobility, though. It has a turn speed, and it's like almost like a turn fighter, which is really cool. It's fun to fly because it's so maneuverable, but the problem is it's hard to kill with it. Even the E3 is better just because it has some cannons on it, you know. The cannons are in the wing on the E3, so it's a little difficult to get those on target, but at least at the same time, you know, you can kill with it. So, boom, he goes down. I think that's a rank 3 or 4. Now, see, I'm at 200 kmh, okay, kilometers per hour. I'm not even going up very much. I'm feeling pretty flat right here, to be honest. And I'm having a hard time with speed. And I actually came out of a dive. So somehow I bled off tons of speed, and I can't regain any just flying straight. 200 and something. I don't know. So come over here, maybe I can drop down an implement or something like that. So, yeah, I'm really hoping, again, let me know if when I unlock the upgrades to this thing, it's going to change it, because not all that impressed right now. And the funny thing is, and again, correct me if this is wrong again, is I think people were saying this is the most decorated plane in World War II for the Americans, the most kills per death. It had quite a lot, because it was an awesome plane, and I'm sure it was awesome. But in arcade, it seems to be lacking, because I don't know. Maybe it has the same flight model in historic as it does in arcade. Who knows? So, going back, trying to get back into the fight takes forever, seemingly, with this plane, just because I have to do so much maneuvering just to get my speed back up. You know, at 200 after a dive, that's pretty bad. So now I'm up to 300 and something. Really, it's nice when you do a dive like that and you shoot somebody down. Now, oh, here we go. That P-39 is coming right at me. Yep. Yep, here he comes. Here he comes right at me, Get out of there. And he one-shots me. Which, that's fine. You know, that's what I expect from a P-39. The problem is, this plane can't do that. You can't just take one burst from the 50 cals and you're going down, unless they get a lucky shot on you. So in this one, I'm going to fly all the different planes pretty much. It's actually a pretty high kill game, but it's also high death, which is not really typical for me. I don't really like the fog in the map. I like to be able to see where all the targets are, but you know, at least it makes it more realistic and a little bit different from each different time you're playing, so that you don't get bored. So I do like the weather for that purpose. But the P-40 again, flying out, I like this plane a lot more. I feel more comfortable in this plane. Drop the bomb load. There we go. Trying to stay out of the furball. There was I think a squadron of Rune guys here, and that's what I was trying to avoid. Now watch the Spitfire. He has some crazy moves. Watch this. So I'm thinking, okay, he's going to be up there. No, he already turned around. He's already turned on that guy and flying away at like 400 or 500. I don't know how he did that. I mean, obviously the Spitfire is an amazing aircraft, but come on, that was ridiculous. So I figure I might as well chase him a little bit, but he's getting away from me. And this is supposed to be... The P-40 is kind of an energy fighter a little bit. More than a Spitfire. So I don't know how he did that. Arcade, people are going to say, lol, arcade. I got the aircraft destroyed on him. Nice. Nobody else shot him? Maybe I was the only critical? You know, that could be why he wasn't turning, too. It looked like he was trying to run. So, trying to find whatever bomber that was, and I just couldn't do it. The fog was kind of in my way. I'm not going to chase the guy around and look through the fog. That's... Somebody else can do that. It seems kind of boring to me. I want to shoot people in the face. Or the ass. Depends. So that's a huge enemy furball right there. You're going to see a lot more of that in a little bit here. So finally, I see the guy that's on the map. I mean, I don't know if that was the guy I saw that was right next to me, but it could have been. So let's drop on this guy. A20. Might not be able to get the kill on him. Here's the JU-88. Could kill him. Oh, this could be bad news. Diving straight to the deck. Pull out of it! 16 Gs! Oh my god. At least my pilot didn't pass out. And he's dead. If I'd landed a shot, I probably would have got the kill. Well, maybe. So here's that Beaufighter A-20 still working on him. From the back, it's going to take a lot of shells to, you know, kill this guy. A-20. I don't know what guns it has, but I'm kind of thinking not enough to take out a Beaufighter, you know, reliably. So I'm going to come in here in the front. The guy's kind of squirrely right there. Pull up before I get rammed by my own teammates. And it took a while to turn, so, you know, the guy gets out of range a little bit. So this guy, I'm trying to help him because he's actually got somebody on him from that Rune Squadron who, there we go, finally get a hit. So this plane has a little bit of that maneuvering issue too. You can see the wobble when I turn it because it doesn't like to turn. Like a lot of the other planes are a lot more smooth than this plane. You have to use your aileron keys in this plane. That's just the way it works. But it's good because it'll get all of the guns on the target. So I don't know how this guy's not dead yet. There! That's going to make a great screenshot, by the way. It's going to be a weird screenshot P40 on a Corsair video, though. Whatever, that's going to be the screenshot. So turning onto another Spitfire, I did a pretty good maneuver right there, getting on this guy's tail. Thought that was pretty good. So there's a huge amount of planes right here. But now I'm locked into the kill. And, wow, I'm right next to this guy. Should have pulled out of this, and I don't. That was totally preventable. Trying to get the kill before I had to pull out, though. That's what she said. But anyway, I didn't do it. Decided no, I wanted the kill. So now, it's time to pull in the P-39s. I do have the F6F, but I don't really like it that much. It, again, has a lot of the same problems as the Corsair and the P-40. It doesn't have as much of a wobble issue, and that's mainly the P-40. The Corsair doesn't really have a wobble issue too much, but it still has that seemingly heavy drag difficulty with Immelmans and turns and stuff. It just seems like it has a huge drag, and I think it's because it's a U.S. Navy fighter. Those don't seem to fare as well as the quote-unquote air fighters, I guess you could call them Air Force planes or whatever. Even though you can't really call them Air Force because back then there was no such thing as Air Force. It was U.S. Army Air Force. Air Force was part of the Army back then. Because World War II was kind of the first time that you saw aircraft really swaying the battle. World War I, they did have, you know, some sway. And there you go. The power of the 37 mil. Right to the dome. You're going to rip a guy's face off with this thing. And look, after the dive going over 500, nice Immelman, still has lots of power left, 360 kilometers per hour after the Immelman. I love it. So this guy's flying straight at me. Don't do this. And that's why. Ripped his wing right off, he's dead. So, again, I'm pretty used to the 39s now. I'm good with the 37 millimeter again. So here's the Beaufighter, shooting straight up in the air. And then, I mean, he's going phenomenal amount. The speed he's got right now is crazy. I'm sure he came out of a dive and then pulled up, and so he's got a lot of that speed. So now, he came back at me. He turned that quickly. So you can see the Beaufighters can turn pretty fast. That was pretty fast. You know, that turn was pretty ridiculous. I was chasing him. Now, I know I was going, you know, under 200 kilometers per hour, but still, he was going away from me and turned on me without me even seeing that he was turning because there was a fog. If there wasn't, I would have saw it. But he turned on me really fast for that large of a plane. It seems like it has a great turning ability, which is kind of interesting. You'd think larger planes would have a harder time turning than a smaller plane, but, you know, aerodynamics being what they are, maybe it wasn't that way. So now I really want to kill this south driver guy. I think we collided, and also now he just crazy turned on me and got the kill. I was going to go after that guy, but he's the guy I want to kill so bad. So we're going to fly straight at each other again. And this time, oh, we kill each other! Nice! We kill each other! I knock his pilot out, he kills my pilot. So, 1-for-1 swap out again. But he got 2 of my planes with 1 of his, so technically he's still ahead. Now it's down to the, I think this is the Hellcat. Correct me if that's wrong. Again, I don't know all the names exactly and all that stuff. I'm not trying to. I dropped my bombs because I just want to do fighters right here. So 7 kills, 4 deaths. This does have rockets. That's very cool. I think the Corsair gets rockets. I think it does. Please put it in the comments if it does. Because I read something about rockets when I was flying it out once. So if it gets rockets, that's going to be awesome, because that's going to help that plane out a lot. Again, if it becomes a lot more maneuverable, then it will be more fun to fly as well. But as it stands stock, it's a bear. It's a beast. I mean, not a beast. It's a bear, meaning it's not very fun to play. So TBF, I'm thinking I got some rockets with your name on it. P-39 can easily take him out from the back, though. From behind. That's what she said, baby! Hopefully I'm not flying straight into a mountain. Oh, good, I'm not. And he bombs out the rest of our airbase, and the game's over. So, yay. That was a decent game. I died a lot more than I like to. When I die that much, I feel like I did not have a good game. But I did kill 7 guys, so it's not a total loss. I actually prefer the 1 death, 4 kill games, or 1 death, 5 kill games. So anyway, that's the unlocking of the Corsair for me. It's alright. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I'll see you guys next time.